Hey there, viewers! A Transformers fan or Charlie Young back again with another Transformers review. And today's review is going to be on Age of the Primes Liege Maximo. Now, technically, this is the last of the 13, although there is a new version of Vector Prime coming out in the next wave, which is basically the Galaxy Force colors. But for new Prime characters, this is the last of the 13. So, yeah. It's been quite a wild ride as well. There's been ups, there's definitely been downs. But I think it's just cool that we finally have all 13 primes as individual figures that aren't just these things. So, yeah. Well, starting off with the box. Of course, we've got the standard Age of the Primes packaging. So here we got Liege Maximo here in both modes. Of course, the 13 Liege Maximo. 25 steps. Got robot mode right there, which is pretty cool. This side we got some of the primes, including Liege right here, which, again, I think this is a prototype design, because that kind of looks more like Beast Wars Inferno, if I'm being honest. So, the back got them in both modes. Shows that he's got a gun hand there they can flip out. And we've got his artifact here, the Legion darts. And I guess a gun to shoot them. That's pretty cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. Now, for the actual figure, what the fuck is this? And I say that nicely because, I mean, seriously, what is his alternate modes? It's like some kind of weird, spiky, horned, flying avocado or something. But, I mean, I guess they did have to give him an alternate mode, because I don't think he's ever transformed before, so... But I'm guessing this is just meant to be some weird, crazy starship. I'm guessing. But this is hilarious. So, yeah. Because, I mean, come on. Look at all the spikes. Look, we've got these huge horns here. We've got these little horns here. We've got spikes here, which... These ones aren't even soft plastic, so... And honestly, I don't know where to start with this. So, I guess what would be like the cockpit. Although, obviously, with this being like a space vehicle, there's no cockpit here. Although there's a bit of red, which is pretty cool. Do have some wiring detailing. Here we've got the actual Legion darts themselves, because this is the accessory. It actually attaches on for transformation. Got some of the front spikes here. Got some ports if you want to plug in guns. But these are going to be the main horns for robot modes. These are bendy plastic, so... And then the back got these two massive horns, which are pretty Unicron-like. Some more ports if you want to plug in weapons. And we got these two boosters. So if you want to plug in blast effects, then there you go. So we can do that then. And underneath, not really much to talk about. It's essentially just the legs. But we do get his symbol there, because this is his artifact. I'll show this more often in robot mode, because attaching this on's a part of the vehicle modes. But yeah, that's... Honestly, I don't really know what else to say, because honestly, I have no idea what this is even meant to be. But, I mean, it's definitely hilarious. Like, it's a case of Hasbro just going absolute hog wild. Like, I don't think this is based on anything in fiction. It's just, oh shit, we need to get this guy a vehicle mode. So that's what they came up with. So, yeah. In fact, I think when the pictures first came out, I wasn't too sure in this, but in hand, I freaking love this. It's like a huge green spiky rugby ball. So yeah. And well, that's pretty much it for vehicle modes. So we're gonna get this raised up, because with this being a leader class, this is going to be one tall boy. The transformation, it's actually quite simple once you learn it. Like, once you figure out where everything goes, the transformation is actually pretty straightforward. Now, the first thing, I guess, like, kind of shell formery at the start. Like, it's kind of a shell former at the beginning, but these bits end up at the legs, so we just open these halves here. That will allow us to take the gun off. Let's quickly look at this, because we just flip this down, and there we go. That's the Legion darts there. These are in separate pieces. That. Yeah, so split this open, take the gun off, and then what we can do, just take the legs, or what's going to be the legs, and just move them down. And we take what's going to be the heels, move them back. Then we can move the feet up. And we're nearly done with the legs. We just have to orientate these shell halves. So we just move up these spikes, like so. Move it down on this hinge here. Then, like, there's a little bit that it goes into right here. That just goes into there. So you just get that lined up. And there we go. So you just do the same here. And those pretty much end up in his legs. So that's the legs all done. Split those. Then on this hinge here, move all this down. And that clicks into place. Then we just rotate the waist around. Close up these little bits here. And I guess we can kind of have this as like a little go walk mode, I suppose. But no. Next up, take the arms. They tab into here. So we just untab. Come on, untab. Oh, there we go. Flip the sides out. So flip these up to the side. Get these shoulder pads out the way, and these shoulder pads are pretty much just pegged in like so. So I can foresee these being missing on like second-hand copies in a couple of years' time. So just be wary of that. And now it's not plugging back on. Come on. There we go. The entire chest will move down. Shoulders click into place. Rotate the forearms around. Shoulder pads down. This whole backpack will move down slightly. Horns. Oh, something I'll talk about later. But the horns rotate up. And we're nearly there. Now, this head reveal is pretty cool. So we just open this little spiky bit up all the way like this. Come around here, get the actual head out. We just back in and that just clicks into there. And finally, these horns, I mean, if you want to, you can leave them up, but the intended transformation, these move down. Like so. And here we have Liege Maximo in robot mode. And yeah, that's quite the simple transformation compared to Astro Train, who had lots of little fiddly bits. This guy is actually pretty straightforward, and I quite like the transformation. It's fun to do. It like snaps together pretty well, and honestly, when you get to robot modes, I mean, look, it's literally G2 Comics Liege Maximo. Come on, that's freaking awesome. So, yeah. Now, they could have made a toy of, like, the Loki design from, like, I think it's the Covenant of Primus, like, that weird Loki design. Or, hell, even that hilarious design from Earthspark where he's got fucking knives for horns. But no, they did the G2 design, and honestly, I'm glad they did, because this is a pretty iconic design for me. Because I think this is the last ever, like, character to appear in the G2 comics before that was all, like, canned. So, yeah. Now, just having a 360, you can see the huge horns there. I mean, it's so big that this literally has to come off and be separate in the box. So I guess you can have this as a huge croissant or something. Or, like, if you're running on, if you don't have that much shelf space, you can just take this off. That's handy. We can see, trying to go on with these little ports here. So, yeah. And for the actual head, I mean, holy shit, that is amazing. Because he's got all the spikes here. Can sort of see, like, I'm guessing it's like the mouth, because it's got, like, the red is maybe like a jaw. I might be wrong, but that still is really cool. Plus, he's got extra, like, horns right here. So it kind of reminds me of, like, Baphomet. Come on, that's awesome. I know I said it multiple times, but seriously, I just love how this looks. Plus the chest, we got lots of, like, wire detailing here. Like, it's very Generation 2. Plus for his accessory, of course, with the Legion darts and that gun. So you can just, well, first of all, if it'll focus, there we go. Like, obviously, as I said earlier, the darts themselves are separate pieces, so you just take them off if you really want to. But, of course, we can have him hold the gun, like so. That's pretty cool. But come on, we saw the back of the box. Obviously, we can. Well, first of all, we have to have it like this. So it's like begging for change. But then, I'm probably doing this incorrectly. In fact, yeah, it's the other way around. Come on. Yeah. So we flip this around. So now it's a huge red cannon, I guess. And you can just leave it as that. And yeah, you can still plug in blast effects. So you can just have it as a huge like cannon hand, which is really cool. But you can also, if you see that port now, you can plug this in. So now this hand is free to, I don't know, choke someone. And this is what I like to do, because, I mean, holy crap. So, yeah. That is really intimidating. And definitely much more intimidating than Power of the Primes Liege Maximo. Which is literally just him pretending to be Skullgrin. Like, this was our Liege Maximo for a couple of years. Him LARPing as Skullgrin. Like, so, you know what? Yeah, here's Skullgrin, and I guess I can see why they chose Skullgrin for this guy, because they have the horns. But, come on. This guy knocks this figure out of the water, but, well, come on. Okay. But, well, now moving on to this guy's articulation. Well, head can go side to side. Head can actually do a full 360 if you wanted to. Arms can move. Just be wary of the shoulder pads. But the arms can move. Remember, the shoulder pads are on. The shoulder pads can come off, so just be wary of that. He can T-pose. Bicep rotation. More than 90 degrees there at the elbow. Move to this hand now. For this hand, it can, of course, rotate. He can open his fingers, and the thumb can also move. So if he wants to, I don't know, hold his hand out, he's about to grab someone, then there's that, which is pretty cool. Waist can rotate. We have the little hip skirts there. So he can kick forward, kick back. Knees about 90 degrees there. He can do the splits. Pretty good ankle pivot. Of course, swivel there at the thigh. And the feet can close up due to the transformation. And if you're really lacking in shelf space, you can fold up the heels. Like, doesn't really affect stability whatsoever. So, if anything, the heels are more there just for like posing. So if you're really lacking in shelf space, then just remove this and fold up the heels. And now I can't get these out. There we go. So, yeah. Now, honestly, I think out of all of the 13 that I have, this is definitely one of my favorites, because He's fun to mess with. He's fun to transform. He looks awesome. So yeah, but of course I do have some gripes, namely the shoulder pads. Like, they do stay on pretty well, although they are still prone to coming off. So be wary if you're looking for this guy in the future, because I can see secondhand copies missing these shoulder pads. Likewise, if I can get this back on, I can see this back part being. I can see this back part being a frequently missing piece. So yeah. Also, maybe if the vehicle mode was a bit more like standard spaceship, but that was more a nitpick because the fact that it's just so crazy looking, that's what adds to this figure's charm. So, do I recommend this figure? Absolutely. Because, like, this is definitely what I would call a certified desk toy. Because it's fun to transform, it's fun to fiddle with, it's fun to pose. I've had a lot of fun getting this guy into different poses. So yeah, I think out of all the primes, this one's probably my favorite. So yeah, definitely recommend for this guy. So this has been my review on Age of the Prime's Liege Maximo. And this is a Transformers fan signing off.